Thank you.
Every time it does this,
You're good.
get out of
It's still working.
It's really hard for me to write sometimes. There's only one.
Yeah. I wouldn't too.
Yeah. Let's start bringing my heater. Okay, why does it already exist? Do it again. It's got it already.
We can start off the record while you get it. So here.
It was the summer, so you had a lot of, oh, yeah, it was, it's obviously your summer, so if you're getting paid for it, we can all. That's something for a bar.
I'm racing to beat you.
No, too late. Although my little one, oh, there it is. Comment up there. Okay. Okay, well, it's 6 p.m. so we're gonna get started here. I'll start off the record. Just want to introduce myself first. My name is Michael Newmark. I'm the Administrative Law Judge for the Public Service Commission. We're here for the Akron Solar CPCN project application. Commission is vetting that application, and part of that process is to collect public comments, and those will be reviewed by the decision makers in the case. I am not the decision maker. What I do is I put the record together, and by statute, the commissioners who make the decision in the case are only allowed to use that record evidence to make their decision. So some of you probably heard this in the afternoon, and I repeat myself. There's really two parts to the process. There's the party hearing process and the public comment process. With the party hearing process, we have the applicant, commission staff, and town of Rome, parties to the case. And they're participating in the party hearing process, presenting their evidence in writing first. And then we'll be meeting, let me make sure I get all these dates right, meeting on December 10th on Zoom to accept that evidence, and the witnesses that are sponsoring the testimony will be subject to cross-examination. So that's the party process. Now, for public comment, we want to hear from the people in the project area, and really anyone really has an opinion on the project. We'll accept their comment. That, of course, we don't question the witnesses. We don't have cross-examination. That's why we keep the process separate from the party session. So for the public comment process, since October 30th, we've been accepting written comments, and the opportunity to do that up until today. Well, and it goes past today, but since the 30th, we've accepted comments on the commission's website and by US mail. The deadline for written comments is December 12th. So that needs to be in our hands at the commission by December 12th. You'll see on the notice of hearing that we mailed to landowners, and it's on our website, has all the details on how to participate, how the public can participate, including the link and a QR code to our comment page, where you can file your comment directly with us, and the address where you can mail a comment. And today's notice of the hearing was in there too. So we also have these forms out in the back of the room. So today we're here to take your comment live, and we can, you just need to fill out a form and give it back to staff. So they're at the back table. Just fill out your name, tell us you want to speak, and they'll get me your form. The process is pretty simple. To speak a comment, I'll just announce your name. If you come up to the chair here, I'll swear you in, have your name, give your name for the record, and then give us your comment. We just want to hear your opinion on the case and understand how this is affecting you. This form also gives you the information to file a comment online and the address for the mailing address. There's also room to just write your comment and hand it back to us. So those are all the options you have today. If you need more space to write, we can give you more pages too. So, so that's the process for filing a public comment, making your public comment here today. We have a few people here connected to Zoom, so we'll be taking their comment as well. If you're speaking your comment, we're going to transcribe what you say into a written transcript. So that transcript is going to be what the decision makers will read. There's also, since we're live streaming this on YouTube, there'll be a sort of an unofficial video of the hearing. It's not what the commissioners will read, but it is a recording of what we're doing here today. Really the biggest ground rule here today is just to please no talking when someone's making a comment, so we can hear what the person's saying and the transcriptionist can copy it all down accurately for the commissioners to read it. So just want to give everyone the opportunity to do that, and you all want a chance, so just want to be respectful for everybody. So we have a few comments, a few appearance slips here. I think 4 altogether for the people in the room, and we do have a number of people connected to Zoom. So we'll get started with people in the room, and then we'll switch over to Zoom. But before we get started, I do want to get on the record. Before we get started, and I want to just make this clear for the record and make a decision before people are asking me, what am I going to do with this this change.org petition? And I want you to everyone to know now, so there's time for people to participate in another way, because I will not be accepting this petition for the record. So I want everyone to know and have that documented here today, and give people an opportunity to file their comment with us directly is the preferred method of doing that. And it's really the only methods of commenting for the record that we provide. And the notice of hearing does provide those the options for people to comment. Those being the ones I described before. Going to our website, filing on our comment website page, web page, or mailing a comment to us, or appearing here today. So you'll see I'm showing this for the Zoom people and for the people who'll be watching the recording on YouTube, just displaying the details on our notice of hearing on how to comment. And I'll give you the reasons why I'm not going to accept the change.org petition. I will be, I have and I will be accepting the petition that was handed to me with written signatures, handwritten signatures. It was verified by a witness here who was involved with collecting those signatures. And we had that person here in the afternoon. That person also submitted this change.org printout of a change.org petition. And I gave it, I wanted to verify that for myself. The person who handed it to me was not able to verify the process by which the comments were collected, the signatures were collected. So I did go to change.org and I looked at the petition. But however, the problem I'm having is that the petition is there, but the signatures aren't online. So I'm not able to verify that the pages that are provided to me with the names of people that presumably agreed to this petition, I can't see that they're connected to this petition, except these pages don't show me that on its face. It's just a list of names put together with the other pages. So without having this verified, I can't rely on the fact that these people really agreed to this petition. And so on its face, it's just not it's not verifiable. So I'm going to let people know, if you did sign that change.org petition, it's titled "Stop the Deforestation of a Solar Farm in Rome, Wisconsin." There's 358 people who apparently signed this petition. I won't accept this document, but I will accept anyone's comment that comes in by the 12th of December. So if you're one of those people who wants to get their comment into us, there's the process to do so is the one that's provided in our notice of hearing. So appreciate that. And I will move on for new comments now. So let's start then with, where's our list of people? Too many dots here.
Yeah, it's those.
This, okay, so we have Cynthia, Mepham, okay. So Cynthia's first, then we'll have Kathy Steinke and Tom Zemer be next. Okay, let me just make some adjustments here. Let's see what I wanted to do there. Make sure we're looking at the right thing. Yep. Okay, great. All right, so you've seen this from the afternoon, but I'm going to swear you in first. So raise your right hand. And do you swear or affirm, tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Absolutely do.
You can speak into the microphone, please, and give us your name first.
I'm Cynthia Mepham, and I live in, well, I don't live in Rome right now, but I own 40 acres. 3 years ago, my husband and I came, we looked at your town. It's wonderful. We're glad that we're part of it too. We haven't been able to further progress with our land due to the fact of some medical problems with our family. So we've been back and forth from Memphis, Tennessee, as you can tell by my accent, to Wisconsin. And today I was here at 2:00 and I listened to everybody's plight. The same thing I felt when we came to Rome. We wanted to partake in Rome because it was a community where you want to expand, but you don't want to ruin it. You want people to come in and have a good time. The snowmobile trail is on the back of our 40 acres. And so we've said, yes, everybody can use it to their leisure. We don't care, just take care of it. You know, we get this letter in the mail that says, hey, I'll pay you $1,000 a month for 5 years. That's baloney. So in Memphis, Akron is also not far from us, and they have a solar plant there also. And I know people that work there. And I've talked to them about this before we came up. There are no positives in that except for one thing. If you own the land, what's going to happen is if they want to expand, this is my hypothesis and from information that I have gathered, you can look it up and find it yourself, different places. You can go to Google to start it, and also people that work there and people that have gone through this. And so it's hard to fight them. I will say that, from all my understanding in it, but there is a way, and it's being united and standing together just like everybody's doing now. We drove up on purpose 3 weeks ago to be here for this meeting. And it holds close to our heart by listening to all y'all here at 2:00 today. The only positive is if they expand it after the, 2,700 acres I think they're going to have. I might be wrong, 200 acres or so, Judge. But so at 1,700 acres outside of Memphis, it's not in Memphis, but outside, so I'm not going to say all the specifics on it. There's 750,000 panels. With the amount of acreage that they're using, which actually, y'all, our house sits right here, and they've got all of it all around us. So it's less than like 0.2 miles away. First thing happens is depreciation of your property. 7%, they say, 1.5% to 7%. Nobody wants to live on lands when you've got metal leakage, when you got carcinogens, when you have panels. Those panels, if it's this afternoon, it was mentioned, if hail comes down and hits those panels and they split, you're dealing with the panels, you're dealing with the batteries. You've got metals, you've got seepage into the ground, the erosion and corrosion of the land itself, the vegetation, so the biochemistry is knocked off of all the property. This goes on for years and years. They're saying 5 years. Give me a break. You know, what are they selling here? I owe more on my land right now than they're offering to rent out, and I wouldn't rent it out anyway. It's a destruction of it. It's for an investment for us to build and then be passed on to my grandchildren, which to me is worthless now. It affects me greatly. I can't go out my back door. Also, there's things that they have to put in measure, like walls. So you have direct light, you have arc blast. There's two different kinds, the DC, which is the most dangerous. These explosions happen all the time. In fact, AC is not as bad, but the DC is. Then you have these people that work there, 48% in a census of 2024, 48% of all workers at these facilities were sick due to heat. If it's happening to 48%, which is almost half, of all of these people getting sick, what do you think it's gonna happen to our town? What about our grandkids? What about the water seepage? What about the vegetation? What about the knockoff of migration? What about the animals? Where are they gonna go? Where's the hunting? Where's the deer? Everybody talks about, hey, we got a lot of deer. We can go out and, get rid of some of the deer. We'll probably be acting like, hey, where are the deer? You have all different types of animals. How do I know this also? For 30 years, I've worked with animals, 30 years. In emergency, and also running a clinic in Memphis, Tennessee, one of the most notorious clinics out of 9 that we own. And I worked for them for 20 years and then 10 years in the emergency field. When you look at the animals and what they give to us, that is our ecosystem. If that is messed up, the whole balance is knocked off. There are barriers that if this does come through, they're supposed to put up barriers because of the light, because of the heat. Where is that in a deed? Where is that if they get this? Where is all that, Judge? They have responsibilities, and we have the responsibility to ask for what we need for them to take over. It's going to affect way more than Rome. It's not just Rome. It's the outskirts of Rome all around. And I'm going to fight all I can. And in fact, I got online to different groups. There are different groups out there. They have been standing since 1982 was the very first solar farm in California. That solar farm in California closed down in 3 years due to faults in the system. It was rebuilt by another one. It's still active. They have a time period usually that they use. Well, sometime, what's the time period? Do they carry on? What happens to all of the battery? What happens to the breakdown, the acids? What happens to the metals? What happens to your well water? Well, you're responsible for it. What if you're in the MFL? What do we do then? So I signed a contract being in the MFL for 30 years. I cut out 5 acres of land. And like I was saying earlier, if I cut any more than 5 acres, I'm responsible for pulling it out of MFL, which I have to pay 10 years of back taxes. I didn't have a problem with that. I was like, okay, I'll cut more. But then my husband's like, hey, let's save these trees. What are we doing? And in fact, one of the people in Rome, a young boy about 19 years old, came up to my husband when he was pulling up some of the tree stumps and everything and said, what are you doing? This is our land. This is our hunting land. And my husband was like, hey, chill out a little bit. We bought the land. But this young man was so upset. And we were like, hey, look, we're not here now. Go hunt on it. Do whatever you want to do. Snowmobile Club contacted us. We're like, go have fun. We're part of Rome too. Just let us be part of the snow bandits, Yeah. And hey, raw. Now it's all gone. It's going to be gone, Judge. If this happens, what are our grandkids going to do? What are our children? How are we? We the people. The only benefit, whose pockets are padded, because it certainly isn't any of us. Certainly isn't. How is it helping us? There's not a positive in it. It's all negative, 100%. I have stuff here. I don't even need to read it. I don't need to read it. Why? To be monochromic, whatever you want to say, monotone in it. No, we're people, we're living, we have land. I can't say that that land means as much to me as any of you. I couldn't even say that by far. We bought it 3 years ago. We haven't even invested any more than 5 acres. But if I feel the way I do right now about that land, I can only imagine what you feel. And I will fight with you united. And this company, it can be beat. It can be beat. And so don't give up don't have false hope. We're going to take them down and we're going to tell them we want our place. Our government is the one who set up. Okay, so we the people have the right. We the people have the right for liberty, freedom, for happiness, for safety. We need to read that Declaration of Independence and what it was really for back then. Well, let's go. It also is for today. And it says for our safety. Which one of you, any of you, because me, I don't want my grandkids drinking the water now. I don't want to dig a well. I don't want to invest money in Rome if they take it over. I don't want to do anything. It has ruined everything. So how much money am I out? Wow, a lot of money, number one, but a lot of dreams too. And dreams where I bought that land plus another house in Stratford, waiting to build on that land. But now if this goes through, all my dreams are affected. All my safety is affected because I'm not going to believe in non-contamination. Everything is going to be contaminated, every animal. There are going to be animals that die. If you go hunt an animal that has taken on these carcinogens and poisons, it is going to be transferred to you. That happens. That happens where animals can give humans stuff and humans to animals. So what are you eating? Contaminated. How do you know? When you go to these beautiful lakes, when you go to the golf course and you think, hey, I'm going to the golf course, what's on the grounds? What's in the vegetation on the ground? What are you standing on? What are you bringing home? When you fish out of the lake, are these fish, do they have metals in it? Do they have toxins in it? The other thing is, Rome isn't even getting anything out of this. This solar plant isn't giving energy to Rome. It's being directed for something else, but what they're doing is they're using our land, and I say ours because 3 years ago, like I said, we invested because we wanted to be part of your community. It's not giving us anything. They're making it sound like they're doing us a favor. No, not a favor. Let's tell them you're full of it. You're full of it. You're padding the pockets that is making this right just so that we look like we're too little to do anything. Let me tell you, it doesn't take much. You ought to see what ants carry. You ought to really study that. Tells us a thing or so. There's no comfort in knowing if this happens that we have an environment that is stable for us or our children or our heritage in the future. None. They're taking what they want and leaving us the scraps, and they're not going to pick it up. So if these solar blasts that they have, which do happen in the DC all the time, more lightning is going to occur. So Benjamin Franklin, Lord of mercy, if you have all this acreage with all of these panels, you might as well be holding up a whole bunch of kites and keys, because that's where you're going to have forest fires. If you're in the MFL, who's going to pay for that? Who's going to replace your trees? How much does it cost these days to go replace all these trees if they're burnt down? Where's the nearest fire department to take on that? It goes further and further and further, and I could sit here and talk all night long because I do have the statistics on it. But it's being redundant because what was said today and again tonight. The thing is, we the people say no. We the people say we aren't comfortable. We the people say we have fears now. We don't trust. It's our land. It's what we had before they had the option to come in. Everybody has an option, but unless they're going to give us something in return, and it's something that is profitable or good for our community, then we say no. So we are the people, and we're going to stand as the people, and everybody needs to know it. These questions needs to be answered. Where's the barriers? Where's the new fire department in case of the fire hazards from the arc blast that they're going to have? What about the people? Who is going to work this? How do we know that they're certified? How do we know that they have degrees to do this? Because it's a very dangerous job. Very dangerous. 48% of the people that work, y'all, are sick because of heat. The heat is extreme, but they do it because they get paid well. The person that I know that works for, well, one of them outside of Memphis, he was a truck driver or a truck mechanic, excuse me, diesel mechanic. He went from diesel mechanic straight into it. They sent them for 2 weeks of training. Same company. 2 weeks. 2 weeks to make sure that those panels don't leak, that the acids don't get in the ground. You know, wearing the right equipment, the gear that he's supposed to have. 2 weeks isn't enough. Not from being a diesel mechanic. We ought to know we owned an automotive transmission shop. That's not gonna get my husband out there working in a field like that. Not the responsibility of everybody around him, the whole community. That's more than 2 weeks of training. They get paid well, they come home sick. I don't know what else to say except for I say no. And I want everybody here to know, I hear that there's an attorney for all of us. Put my name on the docket. And as far as having time, we have time till December 12th. So that petition that's online, we need to get a hold of every person, send them the hookup to where they need to go online to fill out that. We can even go further than that because there's financial institutions that we borrowed money from for our land, or we leased our land out to. Those people don't want us to suffer either. And they're in direct contact. And while you're at it, it's not just us. So if you have children, because I'm 60 years old and I have a son, he's going to inherit that land and my grandchildren are too. I'm going to get them to sign too because they own that land directly. We have more power than what came in at 1,800 vote signatures in whole. There's 300, that judge, that's in question.
358.
358. I think we can do triple that in no time by the 12th, even more than that. And I'm willing to do whatever I need to do. I'm going to be here till February and I'll give anybody my number and I'll come out and I'll pick it if I have to. I'll do whatever. I'll go naked down the street. As long as I know I'm going to get something in return like my land. So anyhow, I'm so happy to meet all of you and to be part of your community. And I hope I love my land, even though I'm not on it. And I can only imagine how you love it. And I will fight for all of y'all. Mom, thank you. Thanks, Joe.
Thank you. Kathy Steinke.
All of that.
Well,
I thought I had 3 minutes, so I just prepared a quick statement.
let's go off the record. I don't set a time. We just want to be respectful for everyone's, so everyone gets a chance. Yeah. And so just be mindful of that, but I don't have a time limit. Tom Zemer, Mark Lubke, I think. I'm sorry. Lebecki, yeah. So there was another syllable in there that I need new glasses, I think. All right, Kathy, I'll swear you in first. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes.
So just give us your name and comment.
My name is Kathy Steinke. I've lived in the town of Rome full-time for 25 years, but I've been coming to Rome since they built the lake, so I have a lot of history there. I live within the hot zone of the proposed solar farm. Nextera has presented their large-scale solar farm as green energy. Cutting down trees and replacing them with solar panels is not green energy.
Slow down a little bit,
Oh.
because she's trying to type along with you.
The Nature Conservancy agrees that cutting down trees
Slow down a little.
to install solar panels is not worth the loss of carbon capture from the trees that are harvested. The Sierra Club also agrees that cutting down trees to install solar panels does not promote green energy. Green America believes that you need to consider the local neighborhoods and the impact when installing new energy sources. Central Wisconsin seems to be a hotspot for large solar panel installations. We can assume that these solar farms are being built to provide power for the large data centers that are being proposed. These few data centers will use more power than every single home in the state of Wisconsin combined. Just this week, Clean Wisconsin has filed suit to halt the building of these data centers because of the impact to water and the environment. Even when the environmental groups are speaking out against supposed green energy, we have every right to be concerned about a large solar farm installation in our town. Nextera has come to town trying to buy favor with the residents by making donations to various organizations. But they are also using their money to buy favor with proposed payments to people that will speak in favor of the solar farm. That sounds like a bribe to me. Many of the people that are speaking in favor of the Akron Solar Project on the PSC website are not local to the town of Rome. They claim that the solar farm will bring jobs and revenue to Rome and Adams County. The majority of the jobs will be short-term while the panels are being installed, and these jobs will be filled by people that travel from project to project. Most of them will not be local. They will be here short-term and then move on. Nextera has even admitted that the jobs that will remain once the panels are installed will not be full-time. Nextera claims that the solar panels will not have an environmental impact to wildlife, that their fences will allow small animals to pass through. What about the larger animals that live in those pine plantations? The deer will be displaced and move into the neighborhoods when they lose access to the green space. Wisconsin, and specifically Adams County, is a recreation destination. Tourism is the #1 source of revenue for Adams County. I don't think people are going to come to Rome to see acres of solar panels. They come to enjoy our waterways, our trails, our golf courses. We have a world-class trap shooting compound that is adjacent to a proposed installation site. Please don't let Nextera destroy the beauty of the town of Rome by cutting down those thousands of trees and installing acres of solar panels. Thank you.
Thank you. Tom Zimmer. Careful there. No wires out there. Not going around here. Okay, I swear you in. Do you swear or affirm tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Absolutely.
All right, give us your name and comment.
My name's Tom Zimmer. My wife and I purchased a home in the town of Rome 17 years ago. And not fully aware of all the benefits, outdoor attractions and everything that the town had to offer at the time. So we really grew into our home. It's a smaller house, and we really fell in love with the town of Rome and the area. About 5 years ago, we decided, you know what, we're going to retire up to the town of Rome, sell a house. We currently have, we purchased 40 acres on the north side of Akron Drive, just east of Highway 13. So we were going to put up a home that we could move into for retirement, retire up to this area. And we were working with contractors to get the project going. We started hearing some rumblings about a solar farm and some things going on. So we pulled back a little bit, and once we found out that, yeah, there's going to be a potential for a solar farm, we just scrapped the whole project right now. And the reason we purchased the land, it's a beautiful area on Akron Drive. A lot of woods, a lot of it rolling hills. And it's one of the few undeveloped areas remaining in the town of Rome. So, you know, I'm adamantly opposed to this happening. I don't want to see this happen. It's a beautiful area. I think it'd be a huge disservice to the town of Rome to put a solar farm in there. Then that's pretty much all I have to say. There's not a lot else. I mean, it's just, I'm against the whole thing.
Okay, appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
Thanks. And Mark Lebecki. That's all I have for slips in the room. So if people haven't spoken yet, get your slip from the table. It looks like we have one more coming. Get your slip from the table and staff will bring it to me. But once we're done with Mark, we'll switch to the Zoom participants. Thanks.
Good evening.
All right. I'm gonna swear you in, raise your right hand, swear or affirm, tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth.
I do.
Okay, sorry. Give us your name and comment.
Mark Lebecki. 931 Sussex Court.
Hang on just a sec.
Okay.
Please, we can't have talking when someone's giving a comment. Okay, now I know you forget, but okay, go ahead.
We've owned land in Rome for 55 years. We've had a home here for 50 years, part-time residents. Rome is the name of a town, but it's more than a town. It's a community. It's the people. I look out here I see neighbors. I see friends. We're more than a community as family. That's what you have here. Rome is a community that represents quality of life. All these people contribute to that quality of life. It's not just living here, it's working here, it's retiring here, it's recreating here, it's living here. Rome is a progressive community. It's a major tax contributor to Adams County. Near half. It's over half of the school district. So Rome supports the surrounding area by building the community up. The nature of the community is its people. The people are what make the community. Next era does not represent the style of the people of Rome. It's more of a business. It's a commerce, it's an industry. They'll build a solar farm with a grant, which is our people's tax dollars, without our permission. We know that solar farms have a life expectancy of 25 to 30 years. So we know that what they want to build will be obsolete in the lifetime of some of the people that are sitting here. We also know that to effectively use the solar panels, they need a battery energy storage system. The latest study in 2023 has found a high rate of failure of the battery storage systems. Approximately 1% of the units that go in have problems. They cannot fight a fire if it occurs. They've told the fire departments just to clear the area, evacuate the area with approximately 25 miles downwind. Which way does the wind blow? So it's a 25-mile radius. How many thousands of people could be affected by that? You took some little notes. I'm not very good at speaking.
You're doing great. I don't know how you're reading that though.
Well,
It's so small. But yeah, you're doing good.
apologies.
You're good.
The nature of the community is not for big commerce. It is not for industry. It's been managed forest lands, which are kind of good neighbors. And granted, the world has changed and we all know that. But where they're proposing this solar project is right on top of the center of the community. If Rome is to continue to expand, and it's one of the fastest growing communities in the county and maybe the state, it's limiting the growth of this community by putting it on Akron Avenue. It's a bad location, bad idea, personal opinion. Lost the you consider the overall effect with should have lost the last.
Let's go off the record. Take your time and.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You're
Thank
good.
you.
Here you go. Okay.
So when you consider that the project would be built with grants, which is our tax dollars, your tax dollars. When you consider it's obsolete in 25 to 30 years. When you consider the hazard possibilities with the battery storage system. And then you consider that these neighbors don't have a whole lot of say in where it's going to get placed. The PSC ends up being our voice to help our community if they say no to this proposal. And so we have to ask for your help, I guess, because Akron Solar is the wrong project for Rome. Simple as that. Everyone you see here has an investment in Rome. And it's not for profit. It's for their futures. It's for their lifestyle. It's part of what this woman had said. It's part of what Cindy had said. Our investment is every day. From the time we get up to the time we're done, Rome is our life. I don't think that the next era looks at Rome through those eyes. So, still wrong for Rome.
Thanks for coming. All right, yeah, so I have one more person with an appearance slip, but like I said, I'm going to switch to Zoom for a few people. They've been waiting since we started, so I'm going to poll the people on Zoom and see if they wish to speak. So we're going to start first. Mary Binder, B-I-N-D-E-R, you're on Zoom. Did you want to make a comment? Mary, any?
No, not at this time.
Okay.
I'm not for it at all. And I agree with all the other comments that have been addressed tonight.
Okay, thanks. Appreciate that. Trying to remember who joined us in order. I'm not gonna be able to remember that, so I'm just gonna go down the list alphabetically here. We have Affy, A-F-F-Y-T. Did you want to make a comment? Nothing so far. How about Charles Koch? C-O-K-O-C-H, Charles Koch. Any comment from you?
Yes, as long as y'all can hear me just fine.
Yeah, just hang on. I want to be able to see you. I just need to make some adjustments here. I'll just go off the record. I see your camera is on, I believe, but there you go. Great. Sure, I pushed the right buttons. Okay, great. I see you there. So I don't know if you heard some of the preliminary introductions that I gave before, but I'm the administrative law judge for the PSC. I'm creating the record in the case, and your comment will be provided to the commissioners who make the decision on the application. So that's really your true audience is them. They'll read the transcript of the case of the hearing, and then so they'll see your statement there. So first of all, let me swear you in and get your name. So raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm to the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay, state your name, please.
My name is Charles Koch. My wife and I and my family own property in the town of Rome, just south of Alpine Drive. So getting close to Lake Arrowhead, just to the south of the proposed area here. We currently live in Stevens Point, so we're down there very frequently. My in-laws, my wife's parents live there, as well as her brother, and her other family members have property in the area, in the Tri-Lakes area. When this solar farm was originally proposed, of course, we've been following this from the start. And what we have kind of found interesting is how fast this has progressed as far as getting to this point, but also the lack of environmental oversight. A lot of the people before me have mentioned that, you know, it's going to be chopping down a lot of trees. And as the person who spoke in the room just before me had mentioned, you know, it is managed forests, which make good neighbors. In the environmental assessment, the site assessment, it lists that land as pine plantation. It did not appear that there was an environmental impact statement created. And in the environmental site assessment, it said that no significant environmental risks would be brought forth by the solar installation to necessitate an environmental impact study. I do think that that is an incorrect assessment. Part of that that statement in the environmental site assessment said that because it is a pine plantation of mostly red pines, there's not a diversity of species enough to warrant that environmental impact statement. But as mentioned before, there's plenty of wildlife, both small and large. While fencing does allow for the migration and movement of small animals lower than 6 to 8 inches of height, where are the deer going to go? Where are the large animals that are calling this place home going to go? We've owned land in this area for about 3 or 4 years, and we've been in that area. I've been, since I've married into the family, for over a decade now, for almost a decade, and my wife's family have lived there for decades. And we've noticed in just that short amount of time the increase in diversity of species. We are seeing our lakes, you know, we're seeing a lot of diversity of species. The usage of lakes is critical to the community in Rome, not just for tourism and economic value, but for recreation as well. The water ski team uses the lakes frequently, and the risk of pollution from runoff could dramatically jeopardize that. One of the other things too is if you've ever walked through any of these pine forests, the managed pine forest, the pine plantations as listed in the site assessment, there's a remarkable diversity of species that grows under that canopy. It might be mostly red pines or white pines, that is true, but you do see, especially along the edges and in places where storms have knocked down a tree or two, the diversity of species that are there that would be impacted by clear cutting thousands of acres of forest. Whether it's managed or not, whether it's managed or wild, you're still cutting down thousands of acres of forest to make way for an industrial installation of solar panels with all of the issues and problems that have been stated here before. This is a high wildfire risk area as well. So with the chances for arcs and failures of batteries and the potential for fires, we had a big fire go through just the south of Rome in Big Flats several years ago that caused a lot of damage. We don't want to face that additional risk for an installation that is not really going to bring us any additional benefit to the city or sorry, to the town as well. One last comment I would make as far as an environmental statement is that this sits on top of a sandstone and gravel aquifer. It's one of the best aquifers in the state. It's primarily made of sandstone and dolomite. It's a very large regional aquifer, which provides excellent water to central Wisconsin and beyond, and it is very porous. What happens when these chemicals from the solar farms, when, as mentioned, it's hail cracks them, we do get some pretty wild hailstorms from time to time. What happens when the chemicals begin to leach into the groundwater? They flow right into that aquifer, and that causes problems not just for our local area, but for areas beyond, including the Tri-Lakes watershed, the Wisconsin River watershed, and all those downstream effects as well. This is an area of the state that has a lot of high capacity wells for agriculture. Food production is a big business around here. What happens to the water source when that becomes contaminated? I think the risks certainly do not make the benefits of any solar farm this large worth it. It does not make it worth it here in the town of Rome. And I think that an environmental impact statement and a further environmental study needs to be done before we can even think about moving forward with this. And I do think that this is not the right fit for for our community for those reasons and all of the reasons that everybody has listed. We all, those of us that are in Rome full-time or in Rome a lot of time or in Rome just a few times a year, value what we have. It's a wonderful and growing community, growing and think in the right way. There are so many recreational activities year-round, whether that's snowmobiling, cross-country skiing, ice fishing, skating, and in the summer, certainly the lakes are our crown jewels, and the golf courses around there are bringing tourist dollars in. Why put that at jeopardy for a corporation and a company that does not live here when they clearly have not done their homework? When they say, man, it's just a pine plantation, there's no diversity of species, who cares? They've clearly not studied the groundwater implications. So I think I will go on the record to say that this is not a project for the town of Rome, and I will be fighting with my fellow Romans to end this project if at all possible.
Excellent. Thanks very much. We'll go off the record. I'm just going to poll the people on Zoom here. We have D News, DNEWS. Did you want to comment? Okay, I just need to unmute, turn on your camera. Okay, I'll list you as no comment for now. And the person who logged in is iPhone. I see your screen there. I just have to unmute if you do want to comment, and we'll need to get your name. Did you want to comment, iPhone? Looks like you're trying to push. I can unmute you if you're having trouble. I'm just going to go ahead and. No, it's not letting me. I'm supposed to be in charge of this thing. I'm not able to unmute you right now. We're going to move on and catch you later, just in case. How about Jane Alder Corning? Do you wish to comment? Yeah, you're not. There we go.
Oh,
Okay,
there we go. Okay. Hi, I'm here with my husband. Go ahead, Greg.
Okay, great. Just hang on a sec. I'm going to set us up here, spotlighting you. And so do you both wish to comment?
Sure.
I'll take the comments
Sure.
separately. So who wants to go first?
Go ahead, Greg.
Okay, so first I'll swear it. So Greg will go first. Is that
Sure.
you're agreeing to that? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so I'll swear you in first. So raise your right hand. Did you swear or affirm, tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay, so state your name and spell your last name for us, please.
First name Gregory, Gregory. Last name Corning, Corning.
Okay, perfect. Go ahead.
And I don't know if it's more of just a comment, as opposed to stats and things like that. I guess my concern that I've been seeing and hearing is pressing forward with a project in a community without really listening to the community, seeming they have listening sessions and things, and then people have clearly advocated against having this project in the town of Rome. And it seems like all the feedback that has been given and received has been, we don't want this here. And it's been overwhelmingly towards the negative side. And yet every step of the way keeps progressing. And I just feel that as a taxpayer in Rome, feel not valued as far as my opinion and the opinion of the constituents. And I just think that that's kind of a wrong way to pursue a project.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thanks.
I don't think anyone's anything.
All done. We'll move on to Jane.
Yeah, I think my husband probably has
Okay,
said
I'm
it.
gonna
Oh, go
let me
ahead.
swear you in first. Yeah, I'll give
Okay.
you a chance to make your own statement. So please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm, tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
Okay, so give us your name, please.
Jane Adler Corning,
And it's A-D-L-E-R.
LER. I
Okay. Yes, go ahead. Sorry.
That's okay. I just have to agree with what, you know, a lot of what's been said here, and I recognize a few of the Rome people from Rome and the passion they have for their community, and I want to applaud that. My concern, aside from all this, is that these kind of issues sometimes tend to also divide communities, and I would hate for that to happen to our community. Everybody feels a different way, but it does seem that the majority are against the project. The people that are in favor of it, I think that their voices should be valued as well, instead of, you know, boycotted or some of the other negative things that have happened. It's just a hard thing for a community, but overwhelmingly, it seems that people are not in favor of it. And some of that has to do, I think, with the approach that has been taken. And we are definitely for local control. And I know a lot of local control has been taken from small communities. But I would hope in this case that as a state and as a commission, that you would go back to what it really should be about, which is local control, and hopefully honor and take into consideration how the community of Rome feels about this project.
Okay, great. Well, I appreciate the comment. Okay, so we're gonna move on to the next person here. We have let's see. Yeah, there you go. I guess we've asked a bunch of people to try Samsung.
Yes.
The other person who has
You can ask him.
oh wait, I just muted you. Hang on, let's go off the record. You had something else to say?
No, I wanted to just let you know I'm not muted yet, but now you did mute me.
Oh, okay, yeah,
Thank you.
sure. Okay, so how about Samsung, the SMG781V? Did you want to comment? Need to unmute. Okay, so I think I've asked everyone. The town of Rome's still connected like we had in the afternoon. So I'm just gonna ask if you had any people there. We can try you guys again, but I know the connection wasn't great. So go ahead and unmute.
Hi, thank you, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Yes, right now we don't have anybody that would like to speak.
Okay, great, thanks.
Thank you.
All right, so let me just go back. I think the iPhone didn't respond. Just want to make sure you didn't want to comment. I see you there. So usually if you got your camera on, you want to speak, but not able to unmute you for some reason. Since we're having some trouble with your connection, if you can hear me, don't forget that we can still accept a written comment up until December 12th. And these comments that are spoken are transcribed and put into written form. That's what the commissioners will read. So your written comment will really have the same effect, the same impact. So if you do wish to comment, I'm going to display later the notice of hearing, but the link, online link, and the mailing address. So unfortunately, we don't seem to be able to get your audio through the Zoom connection at this point, but a written comment will work just fine. So I think I've polled everyone on Zoom. So we're going to turn back to the hearing room and call Scott Krug to the stand here. Let's see. Swear you in, raise your right hand, swear or affirm, tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth.
I do.
All right, state your name, please.
Scott Krug, 1551 Kingswood Trail, Town of Rome.
All right, go ahead.
So first of all, just thank you for your indulgence today and putting in the time and listening to folks. It's much appreciated. You know, I have a pretty unique perspective as a town resident, but also as a state representative for the area.
Yep.
So not only do I have my own voice and the voice of my family, but I carry the voice of 60,000 people, right? Including the folks from Rome and here in Nakusa as well. And I think one of the things I wanted to bring to you today is when my wife and I moved with our very large family to the town of Rome, we first moved into a house just off the corner of Akron at Akron Ave and 14th. Where we fell in love with the area, the coyotes at night, the big sky, the trap shooting range went in right across the street from us a couple of years after. But now thinking of those neighbors who still live there since we've moved over by the lakes, I can't imagine what that feeling is like for them to potentially be waking up to this in their front yard or in their backyard. So, you know, that's one of the first things, is just that perspective, and having been there and hearing the voices of these people for the last, 14 or 15 years on all issues solar, whether it's been in Buena Vista on the prairie chicken land in the town of Grant in Portage County, or if it's been in Deerfield in Washera County, Saratoga and Wood County. Central Wisconsin's become the hotbed. And to my knowledge and the knowledge of my neighbors who have testified in front of you all day today and have provided written comment, there has never been a project of this scale that PSC has said, no, this doesn't fit. That shows me this process doesn't necessarily work as it should, Your Honor. There is not anything that I can think of in life that is an absolute certainty, but for some reason, approval of large-scale utility-owned solar projects is a certain. That's unfortunate. I've heard those voices from the neighbors on the Rome project and the Saratoga project, the Washera County projects, especially the folks in Prairie Chicken Land and Portage County, who have all had very good reasons to say, not this one. And that's why I'm here today, is not just as a town resident, but just as a resident of the state of Wisconsin, to say, when is that first one? At what point does one of these projects rise to the credibility to say, this isn't the right fit? I think this one is. And it's not just because I live in Rome, but I've seen what has happened in that general area for the last 15 years. Knowing exactly what Rome is, that you've heard from all my neighbors all day long, the recreational mecca, the place that draws more tourists to central Wisconsin than anywhere else, the home of former timber lands and that are now being repurposed into something else. I'll say this, I 100% believe in private property rights, but that's not at the expense of local control. When a private property owner is making decisions that affects the entire region, the landscape, the infrastructure, all of the other things that go into being a good neighbor, those are things that we have to talk about, that I think residents should be heard about. And I think the biggest thing for me is trying to figure out why we're in the city of Nakusa for hearings for a project in the town of Rome. That's the one I think hurt the most, is I know the town asked very specifically, come to Rome, talk to us here. You've heard from a few folks today. The average age of the residents is 64 plus. It's pretty tough to ask them to come travel to Nakusa, talk about a project that impacts Rome. To me, that infringes on their right to petition the government. And I know that we have an online option, they can submit written comments. But if anybody had seen, and if the commissioners are reading, of course, they'd seen the turnout in the afternoon here, the turnout in Rome would have been 5 times as much. And that's where I think this process needs to be repaired. That local input from citizens who live in the areas impacted are not only heard, but the accessibility of that needs to be improved upon too. So again, thank you for your indulgence in being here, listening to all my neighbors today. I think my neighbors are right. This should be the first one that we take a long, hard look at and just say, no, this isn't the right fit. Thank you.
No, thank you. It's absolutely my privilege to be here, Representative. All right, so we have no new people on Zoom. Does anyone wish to speak that has not gotten their parent slip to me? Someone who hasn't gone yet? No? All right, well, I want to thank everyone for coming here today. I want to echo the words of Representative Krug that I do appreciate everyone attending here, and I think this is very important information that the commission will consider, both in the transcript and the written comments that I received for the record. I did want to display the notice of hearing one more time for people online to make sure that they can view the process for submitting comments. And that'll be on our YouTube recording. So the written public comment process, we need to receive comments by Friday, December 12th through the commission's internet webpage link or by US mail. And the details on how to do that are being displayed here on the screen share. Also will be on the YouTube recording on the commission's hearings YouTube channel. Now landowners should have gotten the notice of hearing mailed to them. So hopefully many of you have a copy of that, but you can also find that on our website as well by searching the docket number on our IRF system. So with that, again, thank everyone. Also want to thank the Coosa's Finest for coming and being with us here today. Otherwise, thanks very much. Take care. We're adjourned. Applause button.